What's up guys, today we're taking a look at the DigitalFoto Luxio P8 waterproof tube lights. I mainly use them on music videos as they come in really handy when filming in rainy and wet conditions, as you don't have to worry about them getting wet and damaged. So these lights are great for those run and gun video shoots. If you have seen my previous videos about the P120 and the P200 tube lights, you'll know that they only have one button for controlling those lights, which means I usually use Bluetooth app to control them and set them up. The P8 tubes do have a big upgrade. We now can properly control all the settings with 3 buttons on the lights, and also we have a small screen to show us the functions as well as the battery indicator. So this is a great improvement to see from DigitalFoto. The overall specs are as follows. We have IP68 waterproofing, good brightness with 18 watts power, battery lasts around 2 hours with max settings, and you have 3 modes, HSI, CCT, and some effects. These lights also have wireless grouping, which I'll explain shortly, and remote and app control. The build of the lights is plastic all around, but the plastic looks very thick and feels solid, so I really wouldn't worry about the light's durability. When compared to my old Nanlite Pepper Tube version 1, these feel more sturdy with thicker plastic shell around the light. The lights also have a little hook on top for attaching the lights and a 1/4 screw thread on the bottom, but unfortunately you can't use the 1/4 while charging your lights. In the box we get a carrying case, a diffuser, which is actually really good. You can't see any of the LEDs with the diffuser on, so basically I keep it on at all times. And if you do want a little bit more light output, you can just slide the diffuser behind the light or completely take it off. There is a remote control included in every light kit, so if you get 4 lights, you'll have 4 remotes, but you only need 1 to control all of the lights. Batteries for the remote are also in there, and there's also a power brick for charging the lights, but unfortunately, depending on where you live, you might not be able to use it out of the box, so you'll need to get your own adapters. I've personally purchased an 8-socket power strip which adapts any plug into the New Zealand socket, so I can charge all these lights at the same time. So just keep that in mind when you're purchasing these lights. By the way, I have put affiliate links to these lights down below, so it will be great if you check them out. And the last thing that is included are the magnetic clamps, and they are really easy to put on and they are very strong. Just a little tip, if you're using the diffuser on the lights, I would put the magnetic clamps on the very ends of the tube. To turn on these lights, just tap the mode button. It takes around 4 seconds for these lights to power on, and then double tap the M button to cycle through the different modes. First up, we have HSI mode. Click the M button once and you can go through the different menu items and use the plus and minus to adjust the parameters. So you can adjust hue, saturation, and intensity. Double click the M button again and this will go into the CCT mode. And this will go from 6500 Kelvin down to 2500 Kelvin. In CCT mode, if you click the M button once, it will skip down to the program mode, which has 12 effects built in. There's a few choices of lighting, a few cop car effects, and some RGB cycle modes, and a candle effect. Press M once again, and you can adjust the brightness, but there's a few effects which can't have their brightness adjusted. If you double press the M button again, we will go into the third and final menu in which you'll be able to program each light's group and channel. So wireless grouping is really cool. It allows you to group all your lights together or set a few different groups for separate control. This can be controlled by changing the settings on one of the lights, and this will wirelessly update all of the other lights on the same group, or you can use the remote. There are 6 groups and 32 channels, which is plenty to choose from. So let's set 2 tube lights to group A and channel 1, and other 2 tube lights to group A and channel 2. If I change the color setting on one of these lights, all the other lights on the same group and channel will follow. This also means you can use one remote for different groups of lights and just change the channel you're controlling on the remote. Or you can have a dedicated remote set to each channel, which could speed up your workflow. The remote itself does feel a bit plasticky and cheap, especially the dial and the buttons, and it also does take a little while to change the colors and brightness with the dial, as it is a bit slow. But it's great that this remote has a backlit screen so you can see all the settings at night. And just a little note, when the light is in a wireless group and you're changing the modes on the light itself, for example going from HSI to a CCT mode, the other lights that are on the same group and channel won't actually change their mode straight away unless you press the plus or minus buttons on the light. This only happens when you're using the light to change the modes. It does not happen when you're using the remote. These lights also have app control, and to get into Bluetooth mode, the light needs to be off. Press and hold the M button, and if you have paired these lights before, then the light connects to your app really quickly. And if this is your first time, press and hold the M button again wait for the light to flash, and you'll be able to connect this light to the Tuya Smart app. Tuya Smart app is mostly used as a smart home device manager, so it's not really made with filmmakers in mind, which you can see by the missing features, which I'll talk about soon. Once you have your lights paired, you get access to the basic controls. The app is still the same as the P120 and P200 lights, so you can group all these lights together and control them with one app, which is really cool. I've used all these tubes on my latest music video shoot and all were covered in water, so this was a great real-world test for these lights and they performed really well. But the app controls are very basic, and my main gripe with the app is that it doesn't show you the color temperature of the light, so there's no way of knowing which Kelvin value you're at. You can only see the percentage value of the brightness. Same thing happens with the color mode, where you can't see the hue value, only the percentages of the brightness and saturation. This limitation is especially apparent when you want to select certain colors on the color wheel, for example red. It sometimes takes a bit of tapping to get the true red color. Usually lights would show you an indication of 360 degrees and the red color would be at 0 degrees. And these lights are capable of showing you that number on their LCD screen in the standard mode, but unfortunately not in the Bluetooth mode. The scenes on the app I haven't really used much. You can program them to flash or breathe between different colors and change their speed. I have used them on a few occasions, but I found that the fastest speed is still too slow to be useful for most music video shoots. And lastly, the music function is supposed to change the color to the beat, but isn't really usable for me as it has way too much delay. Also, the standard effects, the lightning, police, and candle, can't really be accessed via the app, only with the remote controls or the buttons on the light itself. And this is unfortunate because it would be great to access those on the app, especially the lightning ones, because they do really come in handy sometimes. So yes, this app definitely isn't as robust as most video light apps, but it's definitely usable and you can still get a lot out of it. I have used these lights on many music video shoots and mostly with the app, and they did okay, but I would definitely love to see a dedicated app for these lights in the future. And lastly, let's look at the price. It is $100 US per tube, which is a very decent price for a waterproof RGB tube light, and with all the functions and the wireless grouping app and remote control, it is a great value light, even though it does have some of those budget light quirks. And when you pop on the diffusion, the light really looks great, even as a practical in your shot. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to smash the like button. All my camera and lighting gear is down below. Check that out and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.